Namaskar, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, good morning. Welcome once again to Bits and Banter, our morning show, not daily, but then once in a while. Today we are here to talk about the match of the tournament, which was supposed to be a no match. And actually, it turned out to be a no match, but for the wrong team. What am I talking about? Yeah. Mumbai had won 22 of their previous 25 meetings, but KKR chose that yesterday to dump statistics where they deserve to be, in the dustbin. They pulled back the bully with some precise bowling after in the first innings. MI failed to score what they did in the first 9 overs over the next 11 overs. So you know how good KKR's bowling was. They ended with 155 for 6. And then KKR truly took up the bars style of batting, as 3 of their top players opened their innings with a 6. Now, after that, what happened? Venkatesh Iyer, the newbie who just played his second match, and Rahul Tripathi got half centuries, and the MI score was actually overcome in the 16th over. Actually, you should say 15th because it was just one ball in the 16th. Bala, what the hell exactly happened there, man?
Raj, you specifically brought about Bas, Brendan McCullum specifically. That is exactly what has happened to KKR. This is the one, I mean, so far on the evidence of the last 5 matches in the second leg, this is the only team which has actually managed to turn its fortunes around from the first leg. The other teams are just, I mean, SRH, they are playing badly. CSK, I mean, he did well in the first leg, he did well in the first match. So, I mean, just give it, this is the only team which is, because KKR was kind of middling. They were not too good, they were not too bad in the first leg. But in the second leg, they come out all guns blazing, which is exactly the style of Brendan McCullum. And it is not just exactly Brendan McCullum's style. It is also the style.
Can I come with a bad joke? They're actually on their second leg.
Yeah.
Not on their first leg.
Yeah, exactly. On the second leg, they got a second win, exactly.
Yeah.
And not just about Brendan McCullum. It is also the style that that the captain Owen Morgan has kind of solidified with his exploits in the England ODI and T20 formats. Because they just go for the leather right from the ball go. So that is what happened. You exactly said all the top 3 batsmen got their scoring going with the 6. And I mean, we can understand Shubman Gill doing somebody like Venkatesh Iyer, who is a total newbie, as you said, is in the second match. He going for the leather was exciting to watch. And Tripathi, I mean, he's been a faithful servant of KKR, and it is nice to see him come good. I mean, it was very exciting to watch. And one thing, I mean, these things are exciting to watch, but how long can you pull it off? Because this is an extremely risky approach, risky gambit. When it comes off,
so we'll get to that. We'll get to that later. I mean, you just finished off in one breath, man. It just went on and on and on. I was wondering, okay.
I was taking my cue from KKR.
Yeah, I know. It was the KKR effect. I figured out. Had it been CSK or Mumbai, you would have slowed down. So 15 overs there. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. So I wanted to bring you on to that particular point because what I was hearing the commentators say was that Brendan McCullum is actually very happy for his players to fail. He says, "Oh, go and play, and we'll figure out." I mean, McCullum himself was like that. Remember, I mean, his career, he played some brilliant innings, including the first century of the IPL. I mean, many people would have forgotten that. Yeah, forgotten that. So, and then he would fail consistently. I mean, there were series where he didn't do anything. I think he turned up as a player also for KKR, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So didn't do great, but then that seems to be the thought behind this entire thing. And do you actually blame him? Because in yesterday's batting lineup, you actually had terrific batsmen. I mean, Sunil Narine is supposed to be a 6-hitter. He was coming somewhere in 8 or 9. I don't know where. So
that's a good point, Raj.
Yeah,
because this is an approach that you will actually, I mean, advise for a batting lineup of KKR. Because if you bat deep, it doesn't matter if 1 or 2 fail at the top. It is not a silly, risky gambit. It is well thought out also at one level, because if you have a batting lineup, you kind of maximize your potential. And that is what they try to do, because if at least 3 or 4 of them had failed, you had at least the backup. I mean, who are the players who are supposed to come in next? Dinesh Karthik, Andre Russell, Sunil Narine, and Nitish Rana. Nitish Rana just got 1 ball to face. So you had 4 other batsmen who can on their day win matches. So when you have such a lineup, this kind of an approach actually makes sense. Even if it is risky, as I said right at the start, it is risky, but it makes sense because when you can bat, see, one thing that has worked in favor is Andre Russell actually bowling his full quota. In the previous editions, he was injured, so they couldn't trust his bowling because he just bowled a couple of overs right at the end. But in this edition, he has been able to. I mean, in this, not just in this edition, specifically in this leg, in this on the two evidence of 2 matches, he has been bowling his full quota and he looks fit. So that is helping and that is giving balance to KKR's approach, both in terms of bowling and.
So yeah, I want to talk about that bowling part. I mean, you brought it up earlier. I mean, you brought it up. See, if you look at it, I mentioned in the introduction also that Mumbai was scoring at 8 runs, close to 8 runs an over in their first 9 overs. They were close to 80 runs. They were 78 actually, if I remember right. Close to 80 runs in their 9 overs, and they were going good. They were, both Rohit Sharma slowed down a bit, and I think he was not completely fit because he was obviously not running his singles. And Quinton de Kock they were just throwing the bat at the ball pretty much every time and getting runs. Now, from that point to pull them down to the same number of runs in 11 overs was, I think, where the match turned actually, if you think about it, right?
Exactly, that's a good point. And your favorite, Fergie. Lockie Ferguson.
Lockie
Ferguson.
So for me, Lockie, the moment you say Lockie, it brings up the vegetable in my mind.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay.
So he was very good. Very good, especially the last over, 20th over.
Yeah.
He went
I want to bring up the other point also, which I was cribbing about. I was making a hue and cry in our group yesterday. I mean, when you can bowl 145, why would you bowl 5 deliveries which are between 110 and 120, man?
You mean to say the surprise weapon is not actually surprise?
Yeah, it becomes and every time you did that, you were being clobbered. So what does that mean? I'm
not reading too much into it because they know the strategy.
Yeah, they know, but the point is, I don't understand the logic. Because if you look at IPL, again, we talk about this. IPL is supposed to be a game played by the managers with the help of analytics. The players are just incidental, right? They just happen to be there on the ground.
They are the equivalent of bots. They just go out and do what they are programmed to.
Yes. So, in that case, is it that people are not looking at the right set of data? I don't know.
But Raj, because it also kind of goes against what you said, because in the last 11 overs, that's when they bowled most of their slower deliveries. They kind of managed to pick back Mumbai Indians, right?
I agree. The point, no. But then if you look at it, all the wickets came off faster deliveries. I actually got the stats there.
Yeah, that's right. So when you have the slow deliveries.
I'll tell you the reason. So you are right, but then that doesn't disprove my point. You're right because they got the wickets off slower deliveries, but they were preceded by 2 very quick deliveries. 1 or 2 very quick deliveries, and it was actually the surprise. But you can't bowl 4 at a trot here. That's my point.
Raj, I want to ask you about something else.
No,
you have a point.
I was talking about Prasidh Krishna's first over, just in case you guys missed it. He bowls 145 regularly. He is 6'2" or 6'3". The guy has height. He has all the advantages of a good fast bowler, and yet he is he's coming on at the number. He has come first change or second change, and he's bowling 110. I found it a bit weird because if you look at the Nokia and Rabada story or the others, including Adam Milne and Lockie Ferguson, they came in and really hurled the ball at the batsman, say, "Get me if you can."
Prasidh Krishna, I was really more worried about the fact that he bowled 2 no-balls. International bowler bowling 2 no-balls.
Yeah, I know that was a bigger problem. You were asking something. You were saying something.
I think my bigger problem from last night, biggest takeaway for me was not the problem for Mumbai Indians, the problem for Indians as such. Because Indian cricket team T20 World Cup squad is comprised by bulk of Mumbai Indians. And somebody like Surya Kumar Yadav, Ishan Kishan, Hardik Pandya actually still carrying the needle. Rahul Chahar, they not performing well. Doesn't augur well for the Indian team. Because Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan are pretty much in the scheme of things. They look off color. And somebody like Ishan, you have taken a big gamble. You have taken a big punt on Ishan Kishan ahead of Shikhar Dhawan, who was still playing well. So for him to be still not firing up to the mark is worrying for India. worrying more for Indians rather than Mumbai Indians.
Yeah, I agree. See, now, I mean, that's not the only thing. We spoke about Ashwin a couple of days back.
Exactly, yeah.
He seems to be all over the place. So generally, the guys seem to be, and Rohit Sharma is evidently not his best. Now we need to see how Virat Kohli goes, because first match, I mean, Kohli also seems to be sort of, I mean, he's hitting some terrific shots and then getting out for some weird reason. So you're right. I mean, it looks a bit shaky. I mean, I just hope that unless, of course, you suddenly have what happened in Australia happening again here.
Yeah, you know. But I wanted to bring up just one stat that I read in the morning. See, Bumrah, he took 3 wickets, all the 3 wickets that fell, but he went for 43. Which what is most interesting is apparently this is the first game after his debut game in the IPL where he has bowled full quota of 4 overs within 15 overs.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting, man, because he doesn't. He bowls at the back end. Obviously, he is a pass master of that, but that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think yesterday KKR's strategy completely riled up the Mumbai bowlers also, I feel, because if you notice Bumrah after getting our Shubman Gill out, I mean, he had a very uncharacteristic reaction to it.
Good observation.
Yeah, I think those guys came and the buzz effect was there. So I think we started with the buzz and we probably will wind up this segment with the buzz itself. So I think Bala, you summed it up well. I think he is the difference as of today in the team. He is the difference. And it's a case of the team, the manager or whoever is sort of playing the game sitting outside, making a difference, right? So we have always argued about how they screw up things. So for once we say, okay, you know what, they did a good job. Coming to today's match,
and it has also mattered in the points table where Mumbai has gone out of top 4 and KKR has come in.
Mumbai has gone below Rajasthan Royals actually, which is a bit of a concern. But then, they still have 5 matches to go. As they say, you just need to win 5. You will get into the top 4. And once Mumbai is in top 4, once they get into top 4, then you never know. They suddenly changed gears. So we'll see. So what about today's match? It's a
Southern Derby, as they call Southern Derby.
Yeah, Southern Derby. I mean, so many names.
Mysore Derby, whatever you want to
call. So many names. The mentor and the Chela. So many things are there. What's your take on that?
I mean, on form, at least on paper, CSK should win it, but in T20, form is never a guarantee. So, and RCB has to, because they had a very good first half, and they had a terrible first match, horrible first match. I mean, among the teams, I don't know whether Punjab had it worse or RCB had it worse in their first match. I really don't know. Punjab had a demoralizing loss, but I think as a performance, this is much more bad.
So I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way, Bala. Punjab did what they were supposed to do. RCB were surprised that they could do this. Because nobody expects them to get all out for below 100, right?
Below 100, and they never got going. It was, they're just stuck. So that was, it is exactly the kind of situation from which CSK came back. They also, after losing 4 wickets in the first 6 overs, 24 for 4, actually 24 for 5 effectively, to come back and win the match against a former champion like Mumbai Indians, that showed that CSK has the strength of character, which, I'm not saying the RCB doesn't have, they didn't exhibit the other day.
Yeah. So what, any team changes that you think like?
Sam Curran is apparently, he's done his quarantine, he's ready. I think CSK might be tempted to replace him in place of Hazelwood, Josh. I don't know. I'm not saying it is going to happen. Might be tempted because Curran also has the ability to talk a few.
Yeah.
Though he is in great
deep.
form.
Yeah, they bat deep. So we don't know. Chennai lacked a genuine quick bowler. Hazelwood is the 140s bowler there now.
You're right.
It's a this thing. But like I said yesterday, I would love to see Cheteshwar Pujara opening. Might not happen. I can love to see anything. My wish is it's just a wish.
You have been wanting this right from the start.
Yeah. So I would love to see Pujara coming in and Azharuddin from Kerala coming in RCB. Just for the heck of it.
Just to go into it, who will you replace in the team, in both the teams?
Azharuddin, probably the other Kerala guy, Sachin Baby.
Okay.
Definitely there is and then Azharuddin also keeps if they need a keeper. Yeah, and see, I mean, as far as Chekar goes, I would actually put him right on top.
He plays at home.
I mean, I would do. I mean, maybe Faf for one match, just to sit out, enjoy. Anyway, you are working from home, just sit and enjoy, and then bring in Sam Curran also if you want, one foreigner somewhere if you want.
And perhaps you can drop Suresh Raina or Ambati Rayudu.
Yeah, Ambati Rayudu is not fit. Yeah, Ambati Rayudu is. They say he's
apparently
fit,
he's
not,
recovered.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to see the different Cheteshwar Pujara today, because now that you have paid some money and got him on board, might as well give him a game here. That's my point.
Raj, you have somebody like Krishnappa Gautam, who was the most, I mean, he was the costliest Indian buy in this auction. He's not had a game. I don't know, he might just go out and buy a few petroleum wells in because he's so rich and he has nothing much to do with the CSK dugout.
No, so the entire story there was different. So I just want to end with the other Iyer now. We already have one Iyer who has actually done well over the last 3-4 years. There is a new Iyer on the block. So, we just quickly go through. I mean, I just wanted to ask a question. I think I sort of mentioned it also yesterday, that in passing, I think I tweeted also about it in reply to you. See, now the IPL auctions are such that you can retain 4 players. So has Venkatesh Iyer done enough to be retained, or should he go 3-4 more matches?
3-4 matches. I mean, it's too early. Okay. I mean, yes, I mean, he still has some problems with his batting, but since it is coming off, I mean, how can you speak against successful? He has been successful in 2 matches. His average is 94, and just for the record, that is the average that even Don Bradman doesn't have in the IPL. So,
on that note, I think now we are getting to a point where we should wind up the show. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you tomorrow again. Meanwhile, stay safe, have a good weekend, and stay masked. Bye-bye. Thanks. Take care, and keep watching, keep sharing, keep liking, and keep commenting if you don't like. All of it is welcome. Vanakkam. Good night. Bye-bye. Not good night, good day. Sorry.